Hey everybody, the press release is now posted online at Ohio Environmental Council's website. That's theoec.org, theoec.org, on the homepage under latest news as well as in the newsroom. Can you all still hear all the speakers okay, by the way? We're going to interrupt Bill Cohen with a question from Cincinnati Enquirer. Go ahead there, Dave Holdhouse.
Yeah, what specifically was taken out of the bill that you think should be back in there?
Well, one specific thing that was removed, again, is this push toward full disclosure or disclosure of chemicals in the entire production operation. That's ranging from, as the governor's office put it, cradle to grave. Now, that cradle to grave concept, that from the moment in which you put that fluid underground, through the fracking process, through the production process, until that well is finally capped, that you would have disclosure of those chemicals. That's been brought back. That cradle to grave concept is no longer present, and not only is it no longer present, then there's even more changes to the proprietary chemical non-disclosure. That disclosure was also supposed to be given to whether it's proprietary or not. All the information was supposed to be available to emergency first responders. That is out. It is replaced with the ability for medical professionals to receive that information. However, there are caveats to that. Caveats that say that those proprietary chemicals are no longer to be disclosed by that medical professional. And then there's some odd language and some language that's a bit ambiguous as to who actually can receive that information from that doctor, whether it can be disclosed to other medical professionals for diagnosis, whether it could be available to the patient, to the public in general that may be impacted by the incident that causes this medical professional to seek those proprietary chemicals. So that's one major part of it. Now, there are some things that I do want to bring up that the Senate actually did add. One important thing, and that was to make every day that there is a violation. Every day an oil and gas driller violates Chapter 1509, then that new day is a new violation. And that ramps up, I believe, quite a bit the disincentive to violate. Something that wasn't there and hasn't been there for a long time, that you can find in other environmental laws, but not for oil and gas. Now, because of the Senate did add that, and we do appreciate that. But again, one improvement and one or two setbacks we think is a wash, and that the House needs to really move forward and make some serious changes before they, in this 48 to 72 hours they've given to make this bill better. Bill, did you have a question?
Pardon my ignorance on this renewable energy thing with the universities. Is this the renewable energy, is this a tweaking of the renewable energy law that was passed several years ago that said that electric companies got to get 25% and half of that has to be green energy, and your point is that of that 12.5% green renewable energy, they're going to now include something you don't want included?
Yeah, that's correct. So what this bill would do, for folks on the phone...
And identify yourself.
Sure. Jed Thorp with the Ohio Sierra Club. Again, what the bill would do is it would allow projects that are currently not eligible to be used to meet the renewable standard to be eligible. So projects, CHP projects on public university campuses, and then even existing projects at Kent State and the University of Cincinnati, whether or not they're powered by natural gas or oil or coal, would be defined as renewable under that standard created by Senate Bill 221, the Renewable Energy Standard.
But what's the rationale? Because I know I'm asking you to argue the other side, but what did they say? Is because it could help renewables, or what?
Well, the only argument that I've heard, and again, I ask you to pose that question to the folks at Cincinnati and Kent State, but the only rationale I've heard is that they are public universities and therefore they should receive some sort of benefit that other projects don't receive because the public universities are funded by taxpayer money, so therefore they should have this financial benefit that other projects don't have. I think it's a really, again, I wish somebody from Cincinnati or Kent State were here. I'd love to ask them that question. I think it's a bit of a stretch. I don't know how you justify including a project that might be exactly the same as a project that's at an industrial site, and including that project just because it's on a public university campus is kind of irrational and illogical to me.
But I'm sorry, I just don't understand. This has to do with whether the electric company can count that fuel as part of its 12.5%.
Exactly.
So what are we talking about? Whether or not AEP can buy the energy that this university comes up with? Is that what we're talking about?
That's exactly it. So they would have to buy, so AEP has to buy power from renewable sources. So currently they can buy it from a wind farm, a solar farm. This would enable them to buy it from a project that's powered by fossil fuel and enable them to meet that renewable energy requirement.